Pennsylvania traffic ticket lawyer cost. Is it worth it? So you got a traffic ticket in Pennsylvania. Maybe it was on Route 30, I-83, 81, or coming through Cumberland County on the Turnpike. And now you're looking at the fine on the citation and wondering, do I just pay this or is it worth getting a lawyer? Here's the number most people don't think about. According to the Insurance Information Institute, a single moving violation conviction can raise your car insurance premium by an average of 20 to 30%. Over 3 years, that increase can cost you several times what the original fine set on the ticket. I'm Sean Quinlan, Pennsylvania attorney based here in Camp Hill. This is the honest breakdown of what a traffic ticket lawyer actually costs in Pennsylvania and when that cost is worth every dollar. What a Pennsylvania traffic ticket lawyer usually costs. Let's start with the number you actually want to know. In Pennsylvania, traffic citation attorneys typically charge a flat fee for a routine citation. For a standard moving violation, that fee commonly lands somewhere in the few $100 range. Once the charge is more serious, involves multiple citations from one stop, or your license is already in a fragile position, the price usually climbs. That may sound like a lot compared to simply paying the ticket. But here's the thing. Paying the ticket is often the expensive choice in disguise. According to the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, the average American driver pays approximately $1,000 a year in auto insurance. A single moving violation conviction raising your premium by 20 to 30% means an extra $200 to $300 a year for 3 years or more in many cases. That's $600 to $900 in added insurance costs from one ticket before you add PennDOT consequences, license risk, or anything else. A lawyer fee is easier to evaluate once you compare it to the total cost of a conviction, not just the amount printed on the citation. Why one ticket costs more to fight than another? Not all traffic tickets carry the same stakes, and the lawyer fee usually reflects that directly. The charge itself. A basic non-moving violation is not priced like a higher speed ticket. Pennsylvania's point system assigns different point values to different violations. According to PennDOT, accumulating 6 or more points triggers a special point examination. 11 points can result in a license suspension. Each ticket is a step toward or away from those thresholds. Your existing record. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, drivers with prior violations on their record are significantly more likely to be involved in future crashes, and insurers know that. If your record already has points, the next ticket hits harder, both legally and financially. Your license situation. If your job depends on driving, CDL holder, Uber driver, any deliveries, sales territory, home health aid, the value of protecting the license goes up fast. According to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, a CDL holder with a serious traffic violation can face disqualification from commercial driving. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's an income problem. The more the ticket threatens your record, your license, and your livelihood, the more the legal fee reflects the actual work and risk involved. PennDOT points and why they matter more than the fine. Here's what most people miss when they look at a traffic ticket. The fine on the citation is one cost. The PennDOT point consequence is a separate, often larger cost that runs for years. Pennsylvania's point system works like this. Many common moving violations add points to your driving record. Speeding violations add different amounts depending on how far over the limit. Careless driving adds points. Falling too closely adds points. Those points can accumulate across multiple stops, and PennDOT reacts at specific thresholds. According to PennDOT data, the consequences escalate progressively, from required driving improvement school at low point levels, to special point examinations, to license suspensions in more serious cases. Points stay on your record for a period after each violation, which means a string of tickets within a few years can compound quickly. Nationally, the Insurance Information Institute reports that insurers pulled motor vehicle records at renewal and use violation history as a primary rating factor. One speeding conviction can raise premiums 20 to 30%. A reckless driving conviction can push that increase to 70%, including a 6-month suspension here in Pennsylvania. The practical takeaway? The fine you paid to the court on a conviction is often the smallest part of what the ticket actually costs you. What you're really paying for when you hire a lawyer. A traffic lawyer fee isn't just payment for a body in a courtroom. Here's what the fee actually covers. Case review. The citation has to be reviewed for what it actually does to your PennDOT record, not just how it sounds. The exact charge wording matters. The point value matters. Whether there are multiple citations from the same stop matters. Strategy. Sometimes the goal is outright dismissal. Sometimes that's not realistic, and the smarter move is negotiating a no point or lower point outcome. According to the Pennsylvania court's own guidance, summary traffic citations can be resolved by pleading guilty or not guilty, which is a reminder that mailing in your payment is not a neutral act. It's a guilty plea with a permanent record consequence. Local knowledge. Traffic courts in Adams County, York County, Cumberland County, Dauphin County, Perry County each have their own rhythm. How a case at the Carlisle District Court typically moves is different from how one moves in Harrisburg or Gettysburg. Local familiarity can shape strategy and negotiation in ways that affect outcome. The negotiation itself. A charge that gets reduced to a no-point violation instead of a three-point moving violation is worth real money over the next 3 to 5 years in insurance savings alone. That difference is often where the lawyer fee pays for itself many times over. When hiring a lawyer is worth it. Here's a practical framework for making this decision. Tickets that almost always justify legal help. Higher speed allegations. According to PennDOT's point schedule, driving 26 to 30 miles per hour over the limit adds 5 points. That's already approaching the 6-point threshold that triggers PennDOT's mandatory review process, and it can spike insurance significantly. Multiple citations from one stop. Each charge carries its own point value and its own insurance consequence. Combined exposure from a single stop can create a record problem much larger than any individual ticket suggests. Anything involving a CDL. Federal regulations require CDL holders to be held to a higher standard. A serious traffic violation, defined under federal rules to include certain speeding violations, following too closely, and others, can trigger CDL disqualification, independent of state penalties. Anything tied to an accident. Accident-related citations can trigger civil liability exposure, insurance consequences, and licensing concerns simultaneously. When paying the ticket may cost more. According to the research from the Value Penguin, the average driver who simply pays a speeding ticket without contesting it pays an estimated $1,380 in total costs over 3 years when insurance increases are included, significantly more than the original fine, plus a typical legal fee for a contested traffic matter. That math makes the just pay and move on instinct an expensive one in many cases. How to compare lawyer fees without getting burned. Shopping for a traffic lawyer is a little like finding a mechanic when your car is making a strange noise. You want a fair price, but you also want someone who actually knows what the noise means. The cheapest quote should never win by default. A low fee is only a bargain if the work being offered actually matches the risk you're trying to avoid. The question to ask before you hire. Does the quote include the court appearance, or is that extra? Are additional hearings or continuances billed separately? What outcome is realistic given the actual charge and your current record? Is point reduction specifically part of the strategy, or is the conversation focused only on the fine? If a lawyer can't clearly explain what the charge does to your PennDOT record and what a better outcome would look like for you for your insurance and driving history, that's important information. Common mistakes. Choosing the lowest number without checking what's included. Hiring someone without asking how the charge affects your license specifically. Assuming dismissal is guaranteed. No honest lawyer can promise that. And assuming the case is too minor to bother with, which is exactly the assumption that leads to years of paying for a quick decision made under stress. The fine on a Pennsylvania traffic ticket is the smallest part of what a conviction can actually cost you. Insurance increases averaging 20 to 30% over 3 or more years. PennDOT points that compound with every subsequent stop. License risk that can threaten your ability to work if you depend on driving. A traffic lawyer fee in the few $100 range compared against years of insurance increases from a moving violation conviction often makes the math straightforward, especially when your record is already carrying points or your job is on the line. Start with one simple move. Pull out the ticket, look at the exact charge and the hearing date, and get a quote before you plead guilty. A 15-minute conversation now can save you several years of paying for a decision made in a hurry. If you've got a traffic ticket in Cumberland County, York County, Dauphin, Adams, or Perry County, reach out. Free consultation, no pressure, link is in the description. Subscribe for more straight talk on Pennsylvania traffic and DUI law. See you in the next video.